a basic overview of what the Texas unemployment compensation claim system is like, a few areas to be especially cautious of is that if you receive notice of one of your former employees filing an unemployment comp claim, know that the clock is ticking. As soon as that letter is sent out the door from the Texas Workforce Commission, it's a 14-day deadline for you to respond, and that's 14 days from the date of the mailing, not 14 days from the date you get it on your desk. So it's a very short timeline. You need to start gathering your documentation. You need to start thinking about who would be potential witnesses and how you are going to respond to this claim on a telephone hearing if you wish to contest a claim for unemployment comp. Some of the areas that most business owners don't realize if they have not been through a Texas unemployment compensation claim is that poor performance doesn't necessarily mean that the person will be disqualified from getting unemployment compensation. So some of the questions the Workforce Commission will be looking at would be, was the employee even capable of performing this work? Did you, as the business owner, document the performance problems or a decline in the performance? And did you give enough notice to the employee that he or she wasn't meeting expectations? Some of your best strategies for a strong defense when it comes to an unemployment comp claim would be know those deadlines. That 14-day deadline that I mentioned trips up a lot of business owners because that's just not a whole lot of time to respond. 14 days from the date of mailing of the notice. Know the legal hot spots. Those are including the areas of misconduct on the job or failure to perform. Document every termination so that when this issue comes up, you can pull out your file and know exactly when you talked to the employee and what the problems were. And as a business owner, you've got to get involved and stay involved with these unemployment claims. Many business owners want to turn this matter over to their office manager or a trusted employee, but as the business owner, you really need to stay involved in what's going on because this is going to affect the rate that you pay for unemployment comp for some time to come. I'm going to move to slide 21 now and just go over some areas of the Texas Payday Act that you'll need to know about as a business owner before we wrap up this presentation today. The Texas Workforce Commission is the agency that also enforces the Texas Payday Act. And just some of the high points that you need to know is that in Texas, for exempt employees, you're required to pay those employees at least once a month. For your non-exempt employees, those are going to be your employees who are paid hourly, you're required to pay them twice a month in equal pay periods or as nearly equal as possible. So, for example, pay on the 1st and the 15th or the 15th and the 30th. When you terminate someone, there are differing rules on when you have to give them their final pay. If you terminate someone and it's involuntary on the part of the employee, you've got a deadline of paying them their final pay within 6 days of the termination. If it's a resignation, they just walk into your office and resign one day, then you can pay them on your next regular payday schedule. Vacation pay and sick pay, as we already mentioned, those are completely dependent on what you have written in your policy and what you've done with other employees. So if your written policy is that when you quit, you do not get paid for your accrued vacation, or if your policy is we don't have paid vacation at all, the Texas Workforce Commission will support you on that decision. There's nothing in Texas law that requires vacation or sick pay. But again, you've got to have it written down and you've got to have followed your own policies. If you don't have it written in policy, then you are at the mercy of what that employee says you've done and what your past history has been. It becomes much more difficult to successfully argue that you didn't owe this person 3 weeks of paid vacation. So in closing, our takeaways today, the things I really want you to think about as a business owner are: be consistent in how you treat your employees. Be consistent in hiring, in compensation, and in terminations. Treat everyone as closely to the same as you can. Have a clear reason to justify your actions. That means be able to articulate why you terminated this person and why another person who may have had similar performance was not terminated. Maybe that person was not fully trained yet, or some other reason, but be able to justify your actions. Number 3, have a policy manual or a handbook for all of your employees and follow it. A simple handbook can go a long way in preventing claims or helping you defend yourself if you need to. And these handbooks can be very, very easy to produce in consultation with your lawyer. They are an easy way for you to spread the word about what your policies are, so there's just no doubt between you and your employees. Number 4, most important takeaway would be train your managers. Train them how you expect them to treat employees. Train them in what your policies are. And number 5 is act quickly. If you're getting into an area that you're unsure about, act quickly to get HR and legal support. And I hope some of this information has been helpful for you today, and I encourage you to call the attorneys at Garlo Ward if you have further questions. Thank you very much.